morning, and welcome to 𝗥𝗵𝗲 show. Ria and I, we love to have you with us all the time. And why? Is because you know what? 80% is showing up, and the fact that you could be doing something else, but you chose to be here because you want to learn, you want to improve your life, and you want to improve your business. And Ria and I always want to share our knowledge and implore onto you. So we want to thank you, first of all, for always tuning in each and every time for your growth, and what matters to you matters to us. So we truly acknowledge you for that. If you're new to the show, welcome to the show. We want to always welcome and have you here with us to always listen, learn, and grow, because that's what it's all about. Growth is where it happens. Growth is when you are consistent, you are consistently learning, you are growing. And that is what Ria and I always want to help you to always keep on progressively moving forward. Now, I want to share, what's the definition of success? The definition of success is the progressive realization of your worthy ideal. And this is so good, so profound. I love this quote. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because when we know what is our ideal, when we know what is our goal, we can truly move forward. So without further ado, I want to introduce myself. My name is 𝗥𝗵𝗲.
My name is Ria.
And welcome to our show. So thank you. And so I'm going to be leading the conversation today, and I'm going to share my screen. And today I want to talk about the trick to staying in charge no matter the circumstance. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, no matter the circumstance, what I mean by this is that if we know the goals that we are wanting, right? So if it's like, say, monetary goals, you want to aim for 50K or you want to aim for 100K. So your goals, okay, that's your goal. And if we don't achieve 50K, if we don't achieve the goals, do we get disappointed? Do we give up on the way towards our goals? What happens? And that's our behavior. So if you recall, when I first began to talk about this, I talked about, when it comes to the behaviors, there are three things that people do. So T, F, and A. So these are your thoughts, what we think about every day, your feelings, and your actions. And your actions is this is the predominant out of the three is your actions, because what we want in life, we got to match it with the actions. And it's the same when it goes for the same as what we want. If we're on the vibration, if we are not on the higher vibration, it's highly unlikely we will get to what we want. So we have to be in the higher vibratory all the time. So if you, for example, if you are in the AM frequency, you're on the AM dial, okay, but you want to get to the FM frequency, what do you need to do? You need to write your goals. That will slowly, the steps you take will get you to your goals. And so that's what I mean by your circumstance. So your circumstance, if you have a goal desired and you don't achieve the goal, what do you do? So that's your thoughts. You begin to say, you might give up, okay? You might feel down, which is your emotional mind, because your subconscious mind is your feeling and your emotional mind. So you may feel down, you may get disappointed, you may feel depressed. Oh, I tried so hard to get to my goal, but oh my gosh, I didn't get it, or do I deserve it? So then we we limit ourselves. We think back to, you know, why we're not capable of achieving, and then we go down a rabbit hole because that's our thoughts that we're thinking all the time that is preventing. And then of course the action is by, you know, these two, you know, your thoughts and your feelings, then your actions, there is absolutely none, zero. Okay, so it's very important when it comes to your circumstance. That's what I'm talking about. So the trick, now the trick here, so if you remember, there was a quote that I talked about when I talked about in the Think and Grow Rich book, chapter 3, when I talked about desire. And Napoleon Hill talked about that now, if you remember, I talked about in the chapter, it said about, you know, specialized knowledge, that, you know, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, that's specialized knowledge. And then you have general knowledge. So as I said in the book, the educated person, okay, but I will share with you again, an educated person is not necessarily a person with general or specialized knowledge. An educated person is one who uses the mental faculties. And I will describe, and I will talk about what do I mean by your mental faculties. So your mental faculties, there are 7 main types of your mental faculties that, you know, every human being, to be able to have what we want, we need to dial into a frequency. So that frequency, the mental faculties that I talked about, okay, the mental, and this is actually the trick. This is the trick right here. I'm just explaining to you. So number 1, we have the will, which is your willpower. And I'm gonna share with you the tool that you can use to willpower. You have your imagination. Imagination, you have your perception. Number 4, you have the reasoning. Okay, so this is the, and then you have your intuition. So this is what we talk about. You know, people, they talk about, okay, your gut. This is where intuition comes from, is learning to use your intuition, which is also known as your gut, which is also known as your second brain. So the more that you can start to use your intuition to really drive you towards your goals, you are actually going to be better off. Because, and this takes time, I understand it does take time, but when you can build on using these 5 mental faculties that, you know, we've been given, you know, why not use it to our advantage? And the illustration with this that I want to share is, you know, when it comes to, say you have your results, you have your results here, and then you have your actions, okay, and then you have your feelings, okay, feelings, and then here you have your actions. Okay, so this is the illustration that was, so what's happening actually here in this diagram is that you are building the image, and how you're building the image, you build it from your thoughts. So we build the image in our mind and of, what we want. And so when you can start to see the picture, when you can start to see what you have, what you want, to what you want to have, then your results are going to be based off of your thoughts, because your thoughts, that's where we'll use our imagination. And as I talked about, kids are very good at imagining. Kids, they are so careful, they're so carefree, they just play, and they use a lot of their imagination. And that's why I like to talk about, when it comes to mental faculties, this is the main reason that, the higher source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, they have given us the mental faculties. So this is, so an educated person, pretty much what that chapter is talking about is that, you are educated because you have the ability to channel in using all these faculties to your advantage, to achieving more, to want more. And that's what it's all about. And so when you can begin to learn and utilize this alone, it's truly going to help you. And in the same tone, here you've got your thoughts, okay? And then you've got your feelings. And then you have your actions. Here you have your results. Okay, so what it's saying is that you want to always be adapting towards your goals. You always want to keep pivoting. So so in the beginning, as I talked about, the trick here is using your mental faculties. But when I talked about, the circumstance is simply, do you get disappointed? And, what do you do at that point? Do you just give up? Do you find, are you resourceful? Do you pivot? Do you adapt and find other ways of how you can achieve what you want? So that's what I just want to talk about this, because when we know as to what it is, circumstance, life challenges, what do we do? Do we just give up? Do we keep on going towards our goals? And oftentimes, I will share with you what do I do and what you can do. So if, say, for example, I have a goal and that goal hasn't really happened, or I'm seeing, I get disappointed and, realize, oh, I just give in, and then my limiting thoughts just come in. But I don't do that. I choose to just keep on going. I choose to always be resilient. I always choose to be on the higher frequency, because when you stay on the high frequency, it's more likely it will happen. It's inevitable that it won't happen. You won't get what you want. But so once you can learn how to, and this is the trick is simply learning how to always stay in the high vibratory, in the higher vibration, so that whatever circumstances, no matter what happens around you, your circumstance, your family, no matter what happens around you, when you can rely on these mental faculties, it truly is going to help you. And so I just wanted to come on and just share this with you, because what? And also this one right here, the willpower. And so what you can do, an exercise I'm going to share with you, what you can do is you can light a candle. Okay, light a candle, stare at the candle, stare at the flame. And that you're building your higher mental factor, you're building the willpower, the will to stare at the flame. How long can it stay? Well, it can just be like 5 minutes. Start off with 5 minutes and then progress to say 10 minutes. But that's all, like between 5-10 minutes is all you need. But what you're doing, you are strengthening your mind. And when you strengthen your mind, the willpower that you have by just doing one thing is going to develop the willpower and the sustainability of every other task that you're doing at work. It's going to improve it's going to improve the whole life. It's going to improve in every other aspect of your life. So I'm just going to stop right there because I know that was a lot. But, when it comes to your mind, there is so much more. There is so much that, we need to that we learn from, because our mind is a complex and a powerful tool that we need to learn and utilize how the mind works, what we need to channel, how that truly helps us navigate throughout life and the day-to-day life as well. So I'm going to stop right here. I know that was a lot, but if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. If not, I totally understand. But I will repeat this because repetition is a master of, is mastering. So how you master one thing is by repetition. The conscious repetition is how you develop. So I'm going to stop there. Ria, you have any questions?
Yes, thank you, Alka. Now, it's a good trick that you shared with viewers and with me about looking at a candle, and that's one way of building the willpower of a person. Now, if a person has, I'm going to the imagination now, can you share with the viewers another trick for developing the imagination? Because you said that thoughts becomes our feelings become our action, and our actions become our results. So if we have bad experiences from before and our imagination is tainted by our bad experience, so the thoughts, the imagination, it's very hard when you have past events. So how can we make colorful thoughts and feelings so that the actions, the results will reach our goal? Do you recommend going on a vacation or being surrounded by things? What are the tricks to get that thoughts inspired?
So the vibration that we are in, that from the past experiences, it's been tainted. It's been tainted, and it's very difficult for some people to recreate. And so basically you're now rewiring, reprogram, because that old part of you, the old mind that you had because of whatever the circumstances was in your life, but that was tainted, and it's kind of, so what I like to use and what I have done is, because you want to blur that out, because you are now recreating, you're taking that new creating that new wiring and you reprogramming your mind. So what I like to use is, when I know that whatever the circumstance was, I reprogram, and I reprogrammed my mind by simply either I would put on really good music, because music is therapy, and that is my go-to therapy, is music. And I would put on music that's uplifting for me. And that uplifting music is, classical music is known to be the most, tuned, the higher vibration. It's known, research has shown that. So, and even, they show that, even as infants, a mother plays classical music, the baby, it develops, right? So my go-to has always been music. You don't have to go on any vacation. It's just, just tuning in, because now you're just rewiring your mind. And so to get rid of the old, to blur that out, and to now have a fresh slate, right? is, for me, it was music. And the more that I had the higher vibratory music around, allowed me to channel what I wanted. It was easy, right? So that's the trick. I will share what happened to me. What did I do? And so you don't really need to go anywhere. You just need to like refocus, rewire, reprogram your mind, because that's what we're doing. We just rewiring our mind from what our mind was in the past to where it is now, to achieving things that we want now, is by just doing that. So for me, it was music.
Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, we have come to the end of another amazing show. And you know what? This was so wonderful. And we hope that you just took a ton of notes and really inspired you to now really uplift your life, really uplift you, and how you can start to reprogram, rewire your mind, you know, one step at a time, because you can't do everything together, but just taking the small incremental steps is going to help you towards your journey, right? So we will see you the same time tomorrow morning at the same time, same place. In the meantime, make the rest of the day the best of your day and take the steps of what we teach you so that you can have success. So we will see you same time, same place come tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, make the rest of the day the best of your day.